In order to meet your health goals or whatever goal you might possibly want to get to, you need to have your tribe, your close knit band of people who will support you. Too many people try to go at it alone. That's not the right way to go. You need to build your tribe today. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer and I talk about this stuff because I lived through it. You have so much here. In the day and age that we are living in today, we have the internet. We have access to all of human knowledge in our pockets on our cell phones. This is an extraordinary age to get any motivation anywhere you want. But what we are lacking, folks, is we need to have our tribe. We need to have our family. In order to meet, especially, where this channel is about exercise, fitness, wellness, and combating anxiety and depression, for all of that, you need to have a close knit group of people who will be able to help you, hold you accountable, and will help you work towards your goals. So, I've talked about it before where I have worked on this channel to be able to do things in my life. Like I went from 305 pounds, I went down to 180, I bulked up, and now I'm sitting around 205. Became a personal trainer, gotten, jobs, gone on interviews, gotten married, gone on many, many particular trips, and, done some big things, but it wasn't all on my own. It's a funny thing when people think, like, oh, we're self-made. Like, you see people who have started their own business and are extremely successful, like one of the social media platforms, you have Facebook, right? People automatically associate what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg. And Zuckerberg, quite brilliant, but he also, it's been documented in movies that he also had his friends around him as well. You have Steve Jobs of Apple, who, yes, he spearheaded, but you also had Wozniak, who was helping him, and you had the initial team who wanted to help him build up his vision of what Apple should have been and what Apple became. With exercise and diets and everything, people try these diets and the fad diets that do not work. Why do they not work? Well, we had a whole other discussion on that. But they don't work because you're trying everything on your own and you're doing these portions and you're doing that, but you're not including your network. As humans, we are so intertwined and linked in on just being a part of a tribe. We naturally want to group together. We stay at places or we stay at jobs because we feel connected with people. We have, our families who we stay close with because we have an obvious connection to them, right? So when you have that big goal, you've got to build your tribe. And, going back to like when I was losing weight, I told several people almost ad nauseum that, hey, I lost 5 pounds this week, not knowing why I did that. And honestly, they're like, oh, yeah, that's good, that's great. And a lot of people didn't really like sink in, but a few people did. And there was a good friend of mine that I worked with at the time, Gretchen, who was always asking me about my goals, like, how are you doing? What's going on? What happened? And eventually, like, people started noticing, and I call that the hey now. And it's nothing to do with, sexual things or anything, but it's just they stop. Look, hey, you, 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 you looking different. Good for you. Like that stop that. Whoa. They look at it like, wow, you're doing well, and that gives you the boost of confidence, right? So I told a lot of people, and I wanted to do it because also they tell you, like, oh, slap my hand, slap my hand if I have a cheeseburger in my hands. I don't want to do this anymore. Slap my hand if I have candy. Okay, cool. What's gonna happen? Not a lot of people are gonna do it, but there's gonna be a core chunk of people who are actually gonna do it and ask you how you're doing. When people group together and they work on a diet or go to the gym together, which I am a strong advocate. I mean, go back in every one of these videos, almost every one of the steps is build your tribe, which is why we're talking about this right now. And I went to gyms, and when I started going to the gym, I built friendships with people behind the counter, and they were always asking, how are you, dude? You're looking great. That's awesome. And naturally, in the gyms that I stayed at, naturally wanted to pump me up. They're like, wow, man, you're doing all right. You're doing well. And then I gained that confidence to stand on my own and say, hey, but all those people helped you climb up, you know, helped you climb up. So it's interesting when we want to do it because there was always a few people who always asked how we're doing because naturally they really, really cared. And it's as simple as that. So, how do you build your tribe? All right. So, if you want to go ahead, let's say you want to lose weight, for example, you definitely need it. So, naturally, everybody goes to the gym. That first thing they want to do is they want to lose weight. So you have to build up a close circle. What I recommend is you have 3 to 5 people, 3 to 5 that you go ahead and talk to, probably the most. So number one would be a significant other, right? Two would be maybe a friend that you speak with a lot or a close family member. And number three would probably be somebody at work who maybe you sit next to, maybe you strike up conversations, but there's the casual friend, right? So for me, it was, number one was my wife. I said, I'm going to do this. Okay, good. Okay, good. You want to go out and get a burger? Really? No, like, you just said you want to try to lose weight and you want to go get a pizza, dude? Come on, man. Let's not do that. All right, cool. Number two, I picked my parents. So those were, obviously my mom and dad were the ones that were really, really fighting for me and wanted to say, hey, you do well. And they were worried about me, being as I was very unhealthy. They wanted me to be sure that I was good. And three, I picked my boss. At the time, the boss that I had, she still to this day an amazing woman, but I probably spoke with her every single day. And, I built up from there. So that's my core. And then you pick more people as you tell. And, then the more people, like your ultimate tribe is going to have probably about maybe 10 people altogether. And the rest of the 5 that you would pick, to fill the rest of it out are people that you speak with ever so often. Maybe you have that elderly person in your family that you don't talk with that often, but they're eventually going to notice. They're like, oh my God, you changed. You physically look really good. That's awesome. Like my grandmother, for example, I had, her, she, she has her own life and, she has her things. And when we cross paths every few weeks or so, she's like, wow, there is something different about you. Because you might not notice it day to day, but your other, the people who don't see you all the time will be like, because you have the close people who will hold you accountable. And then you have the people who you don't see all the time who will notice the change and go, oh, all right. Step 2, what you want to be able to do is we build your close-knit people. Then you want to get rid of the people who are not supporting you. You have drivers in your life that caused you to gain weight due to the fact that you had a absolutely horrid environment. Get rid of social media negative people who are just posting about things that you don't want to do that are bringing you down. You don't want any of those people around you. Take those to lead them, say, you know what, I haven't had. If you have those friends that you always met, for example, if you always met somebody at a bar every Friday night, you have to have that frank discussion with them and say, I'm going after these goals. I would like not to do this for a while. I need a break because this is super important to me. And if they don't support you on that, they don't deserve to be a part of your tribe, because you're building a new you at the very end of that goal. You can't have that negativity in your life. And so it's going to be extremely hard, but what you're going to fall back on is you're going to fall back on those 3 or 5 people that you built already, and then the rest of them, that 10 core folk that are always going to help you build forward. Now, side note, that those 10 may change after a while, but at least for those goals, hold on to them. Final step number 3. We've already talked about building the people that you have. You want to change your environment. And then what you want to do is change your physical environment. What can you do to be better? What can you do to be better? You wake up, like, a good thing Evan Carmichael says, it is like an accident when you wake up in the morning and you don't have a routine. Or you do something and, your environment's going to put you right in the same spot where you were. You're going to change that physical environment so that way, with that tribe, that constantly reminds you that why you are going towards that goal, you're going to need to fix what you are going to have around you. So, for example, like me, I put pictures of my family right around here. That remind me of why I became where I was. So I started this when I wanted to have my new goal. I wanted to say I'm going to build a business, but I had everybody who had somewhat of a business in there, my sister, myself, and pictures of myself for the milestones of my life. I come in here, I do work, I film for you, but I have my tribe that says, I told them I'm going to do YouTube videos, and they said, great, awesome, I'm going to subscribe to you, I'm going to watch your videos, I'll share those videos, thank you, but I need a reminder of why I'm doing this as well. So if I walk in here and I film and it's just, okay, I sit at that computer and I'm playing on Facebook a lot, but I have these people where they're there. Okay, I have these people to remind me where I've become, what people think of me. There's a great board right here that I put, actually my boss gave this to me, and it's little one word of what everybody thought of me at work, and it's all positive quotes. It's like, those are really good reminders. Say, hey, I can do this. That's building your tribe. So we've talked about it. Get your 3 to 5, get your 10, reduce the negative people in your life and have those tough conversations, and build an environment that reminds you why you're going to go after your goals. And bonus one, number 4, schedule a time to talk to your tribe. Always talk with them, check in, and tell them how you're doing. Ask how they're doing as well, because eventually it's going to bleed out. You're climbing on your journey, you're building up, and they're like, wow, he's talking about that goal. It's kind of having an effect on me. Shoot, I need to lose a few pounds. Let me take care of this. I got to do this. Hey, what are you doing? And you're a part of their tribe. All right. This is a longer one, but this is a useful video. So let me go ahead and just say thank you for listening. If you like this, go ahead and subscribe. Just leave a little like, leave a comment, and just also share this video. There's another video related to it right about here. You have yourself an amazing day. As always, we say climb.